Hi guys, and welcome back. Today I'm going to be actually talking about semi trucks and the trailers and freight companies and freight operating actual a trucking company actually. Uh, this particular trucking company actually was actually uh, designed to actually move product, just green, but in high quantities of shipments. So from the very top to the actual drivers, they actually were all in the plan to actually execute this actual activity. And it was very successful. They actually had an actual connection, the actual plug to get such quantity and an actual buyer for such quantity. And this company was very well ran. The actual owner was a female, and she was the actual leader of this actual. Yeah, at the end they called it a cartel, but this organization, and it was very successful. She had the right people working for her, except one, which ended up being her actual boyfriend and actually robbed her of a certain amount of money on a couple of deals. And I guess he got too comfortable and thought he could get away with it, sweet talker or whatever he tried, whatever he was his plan was. Anyways, uh, he ends up missing and got a little unwanted attention towards her company, and at the end they ended up taking the company down. They ended up uh, taking quite a few of the actual organization members down, and they tried to link it to a cartel out of the West Coast, but they weren't successful taking in actual that part. But it was determined that she did put out a hit on her ex boyfriend for the robbing of the money, and that's what actually ended up taking this group down. She got convicted and got quite a bit of time, but they were very successful at their actual moving of product. And but just something always comes off script. We can all agree on that, right? And that's what actually took this actual team down. But when you're actually moving it with semis, you always have to actually uh, transport a legit product, a legit item, whether it be toys, actual be furniture. You always have to include in your manifesto the legit product that you're actually transporting across state lines, across the country, because there are weight stations. You do have to weight your semi trucks. There are inspections, more than likely now, but before then, there wasn't that many actual checkpoints with canines actually looking for actual for contraband. So that wasn't that much of a deal, but you had to be at the right weight. You couldn't actually load your tires full of this product because you could take the chance of it having a blowout and then the actual product catching fire, which would catch fire because of the friction. And you wouldn't use your gas tanks for the fact that you want to have as much fuel as possible because the more stops you make, the more chance of you get of actually someone actually showing interest in you. So as long as you keep it moving, you have a less chance of actually having to answer unwanted questions. So therefore, you'll only focus on the actual wall against the actual cab to make a fake wall there to put a few packages in there, or the actual floorboards. But the floorboards are gonna be more tricky because you actually have to hollow out the top layer of that floorboard in order for it to look legit, and you have to actually have the packages designed for that particular size of that flatbed or the bottom floor of that trailer. That's your that's an obstacle that can be very hard to achieve. Not that it can't be done, but you have to also consider, you got to take them off, put them back on. So, and stuff like that, you probably use a flatbed semi truck. And one particular group did actually do that. And this actual truck was always going towards this big shed towards the and near the border, and will leave on a daily basis with the minimal pallets of maybe a couple textiles or some wood or some rebar, whatever. But it was to the minimum. But the whole floorboard was actually a compartment for green. But they had the actual measurements, they had the logistics right for it. So it was very successful until I don't know if they got caught at a checkpoint or somebody was just snooping around, but they were actually successful for quite a bit of time. Quite a bit of time they did this actual run, and again, low tech on a daily basis. A lot of actual movement was actually a lot of product was actually transported out of that actual shed. So don't forget, if you're actually successful, if you don't change up your routine, if you don't change something in your daily routine, you'll be very successful. But at the end, you're always going to get caught by somebody snooping around, somebody actually being curious, and they'll pull your card, and then they're going to throw a search, and then you eventually they'll get to your actual compartment. But keep it to your regular routine and just keep it moving. And but eventually you are gonna come down, but you can be very successful at the actual of actually sticking to your routine, sticking to your actual time frames. It's a big deal too. If you change your time frames, you get unwanted attention. But if you stick to your time frames that you do on a daily basis, most likely they'll leave you alone. So that's just another actual uh, touch up on the actual how they run uh, these semi trucks and these shipping companies. And in the 80s, actually, they um they used two parcel carriers, the brown colored uh, parcel carrier, and then the other one, the white, blue, and red. A lot of actual packages were delivered by them unknowingly, but for contraband and money. And until they started catching on, or somebody got missed shipped the actual package and it got to the wrong person, and vice versa. Somebody along the line made a mistake of actually shipping the wrong packages to a certain address, and the actual company, shipping company, started getting the seeing a pattern of certain uh, packages coming out of different counties in different states, and determined that they were actually being used to run either money or contraband. And as a matter of fact, we this is actually in the private sector, and later on, uh, they shipped out a box to our company, which was about a little bit less than 60 pounds. And when the owner went to go open up that box, there was bricks, actual bricks of green. Somebody made a mistake and sent us the actual contraband instead of the actual commodes that should have been actually in that box. And the commodes were about a little bit less than $60 for the actual case of commodes. And somebody got that was expecting the green got the commodes, and human error, they just they made a mistake of the addresses, and they ended up investigating it. They couldn't actually track it to an individual, but they know what plant they came out of, and they might have been moving quite a bit of product through that actual through that warehouse. But eventually, you make a mistake, and they'll put a stop to it. But we turned it into local sheriffs. But this actual owner of the company, he had a habit of actually transporting items from store to store from Arizona to California. And I was just thinking, if he would have got caught with that box through a checkpoint, I mean, eventually he would have been able to talk his way out of it. But it would have cost him some time and some money to actually take care of the actual situation. But he got lucky that he didn't actually take it across state lines and risk of getting caught. All right, guys, this is another one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Talk to you guys later.